Jeremy, it's everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and today, of course, is the, I think it's the 18th, because yes, it's still the 18th. Today, of course, we have gotten some old kinds of information. I brought up one of the topics at the soup kitchen earlier today, and, what's your they're doing? Okay, alright, so that we take care of the eye report. It's gonna be very, the weather is kind of wishy-washy. It's still gonna be hot. Today wasn't too bad, actually. It was like 28 degrees. I was able to turn the air conditioner off and give my electric bill a break, which I think my electric bill appreciated much. Today, we're going to talk a little more about the new unlimited plan from T-Mobile and explain some things more about it you need to keep in mind. Because initially, it looks really good, and it kind of is good, but it's some people may not be able to really handle it. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, this was proposed today. This came out today. This is John Legere. This is called Uncarrier 12. What this is he mentions the family plans, and there's a reason why. It doesn't have to be a family plan, because it's the same if it's an individual plan too. The first phone on the plan is $70 US. And what this means is the cell phone itself has unlimited talk, text, and data. That is, things that you look up on the phone applications that you use, such as the browser and apps like Twitter and MySpace and Facebook and things like that. That stuff doesn't go against any data. There's no data limit anymore. Great. Sounds good. But unfortunately, the problem is, what he doesn't tell you is, one, if you are not into the kind of situation of prepaying with a credit card or debit card for a variety of reasons, you have to pay $5 monthly per line. So if it's one phone, that's understandable, right? It's $5. No one's going to argue about that, because it does cost money to print bills and mail them and other things like that. It gets scarier when you have multiple phones, because every phone is going to be $5 more. Okay, so it's that's where I think it's kind of stupid. Thank you. Really, if you got like 5 phones on the family plan, it's gonna cost. They're gonna be making $25 to process your physical payments. Not cool. Now, you do get tethering with a twist. The twist is, it's only going to let you tether by default at 128 kilobits per second. That's it. 128 kilobits per second. Or about the speed, a little bit faster than a 56K modem. Actually, it's about the speed of a bridge ADS-10 line. Right. Okay, so that's something most people don't know what that is. In other words, it's okay for some things, but web browsing will be on your computer will be a nightmare. They're offering, however, as an optional package, you can sign up for 15 hours more. You can get 6 gigabytes of tethering before you fall into that cap again. And you're probably asking yourself, why would they want to do that? Here's why. Number one, they realize that most desktop applications are extremely data hungry. Okay? That means, so if you're going to watch Hulu and Netflix and stuff like that, is that still going to go against the 6 gigabytes data chunk? Or does it not go against your 6 gigabyte data chunk? I don't know. I will find out. Okay? I'll look it up for you. Mobile hotspots, like my little Samsung box, are on their own plan. That's only for hotspots. That's the one that has the 6 gigabyte data on it, okay? If you use an iPad or a tablet that only does tablet, no speech, doesn't talk, doesn't use the voice network, that's going to cost you $20 a month for that unit. So if you wanted to have a phone and a tablet, the first phone would be $70 and then the tablet will be $20. Because it doesn't use the voice network. Okay? When Lomi first heard this plan, she got all excited. She said, "Oh, great, this is equal to what we're paying with Frontier, blah, 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 blah." It turns out that's not quite right, but here's where it does still compete favorably because of this reason. If you're using a smartphone, it doesn't matter if it's an Android, iOS, BlackBerry, whatever, okay? You'll get unlimited data on that device. So I could sit there and watch YouTube videos and play music and call people and text people and whatever for the flat $70. Okay? That's good. I don't have a problem with that. Now, on the other hand, if you want to watch high definition, especially if you have an iPhone 6s, or if you're watching on an iPad, like one of the bigger ones, the 4, the Mini, the Pro, whatever, you can sign up for high-speed data. I mean, when I say high-speed, I mean like for videos of 1080p and better, actually 720p and better, up to 4K videos for another 20, if I got this right, I think you do. It's 25 a month more. For me, that's really not even an issue because of the fact is that I do not watch videos in that resolution for a lot of reasons. Number one, I only have an iPhone 4S. It does 720p fine. It can show 1080p, but it's not the native resolution of the screen. It doesn't. I think it does have a retina display. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay, so in other words, I wouldn't necessarily benefit watching videos at 1080p on my phone. It just really makes no sense. On the other hand, when I like to tether my phone to my TV, it still counts as my phone's data. It's not going, like if I had a Roku box or something, that'd be different. But if I plug my phone into my TV, I'm still going to get visual resolution of 480p, okay? Or 480i, which is fine, because that's all my big CRT console can do anyway, so it's not really like I'm going to gain anything. But just to let you be aware of that. They said that this will be replacing all existing data plans. So for all new customers after September 6th, all the old data plans are sunsetted. Okay? You can't get them. Now, I happen to have an older plan that it's a family plan with Dory. Now, Dory and me are having other issues which have to do with bills. And I'm not going to go into all of that right now, okay? If you want to hear more about that, I am sure she or I could give you an earful. But for right now, just say this, okay? If Dory decides by not paying her bill or personally says to me nicely, I want out, then she will have, her phone number will be terminated and she will need to set up her own service elsewhere. That's all I can tell you for now. In advance of this month, I bought 3 brand new T-Mobile SIM cards. 3 of them. Okay? Because 1 is a spare, or 2 is a spare, and maybe 1 for transferring my home phone number to the T-Mobile service. I'm thinking about porting that for the time being to my iPhone 4S, which right now is not being used as my cell phone, but rather I'm using it as a tablet. a very small little tablet, but it still is a cell phone. That way, I can keep my legacy home phone number, and of course, I'll keep my other cell phone number on my BlackBerry, so I can still have the 2 phone numbers. I will then contact the home phone company and terminate all 3 home phone lines. And I'm going to try to keep, because it's on a separate wire anyway, it's on a separate bill, I'm going to keep the DSL if I can, so that we'll have the DSL to fall back on, so that when we use up our data, or if we want to use our Power Mac G5, and I don't want to use up all my data just to do routine searches, we will have that as an option. So we will be able to use the home DSL to still do everyday work on the computer. That's what we're going to do. Now, the only problem that we're going to run into this month is a very, very big mess. I'm really hoping that Dory will keep her end of the bargain, but, you know, I got a feeling she's not, and so I'm just gonna have to tell her, sorry, I already gave you one time slide on this, I can't do it anymore. Sorry, your phone will be terminated immediately. Because I need to use that line, the provision for that line to port this phone number over to T-Mobile while I still have a fighting chance with Frontier to leave them in good standing. That's always keepies, good standing, okay? So that's what we're going to do. And eventually, not right away, but eventually, we're going to buy that little interface I've talked about, including upgrading to another one. Someone suggested going for the Ericsson, W25, which is a gateway. It's a fixed residential gateway. It provides a phone number on T-Mobile network and supports LTE, so that I can still use the LTE of the plan I'm on, 6 gigabytes per phone, to do internet work. That sounds like an interesting idea, but is it feasible? Yeah, I think it's more feasible at this point. Now, one of the things that you have talked about is a tablet. Yes, I have. Want to talk about that? I still would like to get myself a iPad 3rd generation, or even iPad 2nd generation, a 32 or 64 gigabyte model. I've got to be very careful to make sure I get one that has only iOS 6.13 or 6.15, whatever. Nothing newer. No 7, no 8, no 9 iOS. Otherwise, I can't dock it with my Power Mac G5. I want that function back. Now, I know what you're going to say, but Michelle, why don't you go ahead and unlock, jailbreak your iPhone 4S, and then use that, and then reinstall iOS from 4.0 into your iOS, because there's always the risk that Apple will brick the phone. That's Apple for you. Yes, it is. Okay, so in other words, that's not really going to happen. It's not going to happen because of the reason I don't want to ruin my phone. It's, as much as I hate to say it, my 4S is my lifeline. It's how I watch my videos. It's how I watch my movies. It's how I watch my TV shows. And we both know, and you do know this, yeah. Well, actually, we don't know about the 4S being this limitation, but I believe it would be. 4S to my knowledge, cannot, under iOS 6.15, properly support the Netflix with my AV cable. You think, I think. Okay, but I'm not sure. Okay, but it's possible. However, there is no excuse, and there isn't, why, if I choose to buy a iPad 3, that I cannot do the same thing with an iPad 3, except, let's be honest, do you really need to have a big iPad, which has a 9.7 inch diagonal measure screen, which will be fine for watching TV by itself? It'll be like what you get, a little portable TV, versus plugging that in to a console, 25 inch diagonal, 4:3 aspect ratio, and doing the same thing. On my phone, it makes sense because my phone is small screen. Sometimes I want to have people want to watch, TV shows and things like that. So that's an idea. However, there's an interesting twist. I saw this. I'm also kind of interested in this as well. A 10.1 inch Android tablet with built-in phone support. In other words, it's a phablet. It's a beast. Okay, it's big. It's enormous. Okay, 10.1 inch. It comes. The one I'm looking at comes with a detached keyboard. It comes with Android KitKat. It has dual SIM support. It does have. I don't think it has 4G LTE. No, it's just 3G. It's just 3G. Okay, that's something to think about. There are ones that are 4G, but they're much more expensive. And besides the fact that I don't like Android anyway. The iPhone 3, iPad, third generation supports LTE, which is great because that means I can watch videos really smoking fast. And because it has a front-facing camera, it's the same resolution as my existing camera on the front of my phone. 1.3 megapixel. I know what you're going to say. I'm trying to make your videos look like shit. That's because it's easiest for Michelle to use it. Miss Michelle likes to use the front-facing camera because it's so she can see, check her hair and makeup and everything, make sure it's clear. Exactly. So yeah, I like that feature. It's pathetic that many tablets, especially the iPad, third generation, second generation, those are the first two that had cameras in the thing at all, okay? Have a very basic camera on the front face instead of on the rear. Let's be honest. Are you going to really seriously hold up a tablet that's... let's see. Let's try to come up with an example here. Okay. Because it is about this size. Are you going to really hold a tablet up like this to take pictures of your friends? Why not? Well, you can. I suppose you could. Yeah, okay. You could hold up a tablet like this. Sherry Heaton, did many videos with me in her food taste testing using her iPad 4, doing that exact same thing. And it never had a problem with it. But she never could use it with the internet package from Verizon because she didn't have Verizon service on it. I'm not getting a CDMA unit because of the reasons that I don't want to have to deal with another cell phone provider, and I sure the fucking hell don't want to do it CDMA. If you want to know why, I will just give you a simple answer. It's ancient technology. Now everybody's going to LTE. The CDMA people are dealing with all kinds of teething pains as they migrate away from CDMA to go to the LTE technology. So, in fact, many older phones from Sprint, Boost Mobile, often have a SIM, especially they say it's for LTE. They will have a SIM chip in that phone, specifically so that you can use it with LTE. But for regular everyday phone calls, it's still a CDMA phone. Okay? Really kind of a strange mix. It doesn't really make sense to a lot of people, but this is the way it is. Now, compare that with, from the beginning, all GSM phones. 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now eventually 5G. Yes, there will be a 5G. There will be a 5G. And 5G will have a SIM chip. Apple tried something new and saying, let me make a universal SIM chip that can work with all providers. So that the SIM would just go ahead and just do the firmware flash on it. Kind of like a CDMA thing, but for GSM. Bad idea. Because, like you said, what happens if you want to be able to take your phone from place to you like to swap phones around? You can't. You can't. You are absolutely right. You cannot. So it's something that these companies are experimenting with, and at this point, and it's just kind of strange. Not really anything that you're going to benefit from at all. The point is that you can now have this new technology, old technology, and let's be honest. Okay, now cell phones are great. I never said they weren't. I just said originally I said that there was problems with cell phones, which are still valid. But there's also issues with home phones that are equally just as valid. I'm not going to go into all that again. First of all, even though it's getting cooler, I got air coming in to the window. I got the window fan on in the bedroom. I got the window fan on in the kitchen. It's still getting very warm in here because of the lights. So, for the time being, let's just wrap this up with this. Is this new Uncarrier 12 Tmobile ONE data plan feasible? It depends on so many factors. Okay? Number one, do you really want to spend that much a month? If you're only going out for, say, a few days, and to, or camping, so you want to be able to go on and have an inexpensive plan for a few days, not a major deal. You don't want to make a major commitment. You just want to set it up for a few days, and then when you come home, downgrade back to your cheap plan. The way it's set up, you can't do that easily. Okay. Number two is people on fixed incomes. Are you going to benefit by having to spend $70 a month, plus more than likely you are not going to be able to pay with autopay because A, you don't have a debit card, or B, if you do have a debit card, you are so concerned about when you get paid your benefits that by the time the bill comes due, there may not be enough money in your checking account to handle it. That's not a joke, folks. This is really significantly serious. So you might want to keep that in mind, is that you may not be able to adjust for those days when something happens and you need the money ahead of time, and then the bill comes due when you are least expected, and then you get charged a cash advance fee / penalty from your bank for overdrawing your account. And it does happen. I've done it so many times, on purpose and on accident. It's when it's not an accident, it's the most miserable, debilitating. If it's on purpose, you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, and you hope to God that when the month comes at the beginning of the month, of course you know that they're going to take that fee and the amount owed out of your account, especially if you have direct deposit down for your Social Security disability check. So yeah, you will want to keep that in mind. Lastly, the cell phone technology industry right now is highly competitive. There's only so many customers, and so these companies are in the equivalent of a trade war for you. And sometimes a small local provider may offer you a better deal 1 month, and another company may offer an even better deal the next month. So you may find yourself constantly switching from phone to phone to phone to phone. Okay? And it does happen. Number 3, sometimes phones suck. I'm not going to lie, I have seen many sucky ones in my time. If you ever run into this problem, this is really a problem for CDMA more than GSM, but well, I'll throw it out there too. It's the same problem, really. The phone that you got sucks donkey dingleberries, and you want to throw it away, but now you got to go ahead and get the new phone and activate it, especially CDMA. You got to give the ESN, you got to give this... go in and set the PRL and all this custom configuration bullshit. Not worth it. Okay, that's why I recently go with GSM. GSM gives me that flexibility. I just take my SIM chip out of phone A, put it in phone B, and then I can sell phone A on eBay or just store it in the garbage can or give it away like I did my iPhone 3GS. I gave it away to somebody who needed a phone. He was willing. I did not charge him for it. I said, all you have to do is get a T-Mobile starter kit for it. Boom, boom, boom. He got it working. He's happy. As far as I know, my old iPhone 3GS is still working happily in somebody else's hands right now. It might not be. I don't know. You know, he was a pretty rough and tumble guy, so maybe it's ended up being broken in a million pieces by now. But that was last year. Do I miss it? Yes, I do. I miss my iPhone 3GS a lot. Did I think it was really the best phone? It was good for when I had it. I never really had a major problem with it. Of course, I also wish it had a front-facing camera and all the other good stuff, but it didn't. Now, let's get on to the last thing. Sometimes you start out with a great idea. As like I said, you know, the first phone you bought may have been your first love because it supported certain features, and then you find out that those features really weren't that good. You want to go to a new phone, and you might have to find out you might have to change plans to activate certain features. Examples come to mind is my BlackBerry. Of course, it didn't cost me anything to do it. I had to, 1, contact T-Mobile and get BIS. That's the BlackBerry Information Service added to my plan. So I have BIS on it. That's why I don't put my SIM chip back in my iPhone 4S, because if I do that, it automatically realizes it's not a BlackBerry anymore and thinks I don't want the service anymore, and then I have to call back and reactivate it again. Not worth it. So I just leave my SIM in my BlackBerry. But now I would be willing to put my home phone number onto my iPhone 4S so that I can at least make and receive phone calls. And last thing is the networks themselves are constantly evolving. You will find that I've heard that they're going to phase out 2G or Edge service in GPRS. GPRS is really prior to Edge. If you want to call it, you can call it Edge Plus, or 2 Plus. 2G plus, whatever, because Edge is technically an improvement over GPRS. That's Central General Packet Radio Service, which basically really is kind of the whole backbone of the internet for the voice talk and texting and stuff like that. It's just basically shorts out fairly fast, but not like super fast chunks of data, and the voice is carried over that in the 2G and 1G. Edge is just an improvement over that. Again, it's faster. You can get things done faster. Okay, it's really good. Unfortunately, like I said, cell phones do change, and so sometimes the cell phone company, T-Mobile, I heard, was going to shut down 2G in many areas, and possibly 3G in many areas. And like I said to the technical people at T-Mobile, I said, why would you do that? It's not like 2G is taking a huge amount of bandwidth. It's really very small. People who have older phones like Edge, possibly they're just using a feature phone, may need to keep that service working. Yeah, they might need to. But what about this option? What about the option for people to use like their own microcell idea that they program so that their phone will work with their microcell? Maybe like they're using an asterisk or something. The problem is the Federal Communications has been very specific about licensing alone, that it's not really worth it to do that. That's why most voice over IP phones, if they are wireless, are using the Wi-Fi networks to do the phone calls and stuff, because that is unlicensed spectrum for that purpose. If you wanted to use a cell phone network, you need a license, and it gets really expensive, and nobody is going to want to pay that. You think a monthly phone bill from your cell phone provider is bad. Now you try to imagine paying the Federal Communications for a license. It's not going to happen. Nobody is going to spend that money. I don't even think Donald Trump would waste his time and money and expense to do that. I'm sure the hell he ain't going to do it. Okay, now, with that in mind, as I said, so if you have a favorite phone and it would be like BlackBerry and it doesn't have 3G, 4G backup and you can't do anything with it, it's a sad shame. I agree. I wish the BlackBerry, I'll be honest, I really wish they would do this. I really wish they would create a BlackBerry with LTE in the classic form factor. I think the BlackBerry Classic does, but it doesn't have the keyboard quite the same, and it's a little bit different. So the BlackBerry I have is a fantastic phone. I never really had a problem with it. I'm actually like my BlackBerry quite a bit. Thank you. I like the fact that I can type on it, and I can type really fast, and I can get things done. It's supposed to get things done. It's just like the old Nextel commercial. Done. That's what you're supposed to do. Get, there's the instructions. Get them out the door. Don't have to sit there and go tap, 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 tap. And I don't have if my finger slides over. Whoop! I meant to hit O and I didn't hit 9. I've done that so many times. So if you ever wonder why sometimes you look at my messages I send you and they look like I'm saying on and it says in, it's because probably likely my fingers slide over and hit the I instead of the O. That's from one of the many common errors you'll sometimes see in my text. BlackBerry is more like much faster accuracy typing, and get it done and get it out the door. That's what I like about the BlackBerry Bold. I never tried the Classic. I will try the Classic if I had one, which I don't. I would be interested in the Priv, but there's things about the Priv that I don't really know if I can quite wrap my head around Android. Sorry guys, I know Android is most popular, especially in Europe and Asia. It's not so popular. In fact, statistically, it's been proven that in the United States and most Western countries, the iOS devices are more popular than Android devices. Because, I mean, for those who have the financial choice, they will choose an iPhone or an iPad over an Android tablet. By the way, the Android tablet I was talking about of 10.1 inch Wi-Fi plus 3G has 2 SIM slots, a micro SD slot, an OTG cable, okay, and A-N-D, and it has, I believe it has an micro HDMI port, so that you can plug in your favorite cable and plug it into your favorite flat screen panel TV. And there's equally adapters to plug HDMI into a VGA TV monitor. I've done that. I got that on my setup over here for the Raspberry Pi, so I know that works. And there also are similar adapters available for older TVs to deal with at least 720p. Either connecting through with components, or some that very few CRTs have this, but some do, have HDMI ports on them as well, so that you can enjoy having an HDMI TV and watching your favorite TV shows on your HDMI unit. Cool. Sounds awesome. Sounds great to me too, doesn't it? Yeah. So should you jump for this new T-Mobile plan? Well, again, you do need to consider what is your likeliness that you're going to really enjoy this work. Everybody uses a cell phone now. I certainly do. Except I don't do this in my video on my cell phone. But there's no reason why it couldn't do my video on, say, I could do my video on the iPhone 4S, or then upload the video to my iPad, and then using the iTunes on the iPad to do the same job, to cut and paste and title and do all that stuff, instead of using a full-size desktop. That is a very possibility for a lot of people. That's a great option. For some, unfortunately, because of their handicaps especially, that option just doesn't really exist. I'm sorry, but some people might enjoy it, some may not do too well with it. But again, this is technology that exists for you, and you should definitely be willing to use it if it's available to you. So, again, that's between you. If it's an individual, please remember it'll be $70 a month for the phone. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, unlimited web, only on the phone, not tethering. If you want to tether, it does exist, and it's only unless you buy the extra data package, it's going to cost, which is $15. It'll only be tethering at the rate of a bridge PRI IDSN LAN, which is 128 kilobits per second. So you're not going to really see super fast tethering, which for some things is okay, I suppose. Just don't bother trying to download a DVD. It'll take days, weeks, and of course by the time both you and your cell phone will be physically ready to kill each other. Okay? However, we'll see what happens with that. The new technology that's coming out that may not be an issue for some people. Some crackers will find some ways to get around T-Mobile's rules. I'm not suggesting you do that. If you're going to do that, I'm telling you right now, it's at your own risk. And if they decide to yank your phone line permanently and block your phone forever, well, that's your problem. I'm not suggesting it. And remember now, if you do follow the rules, it's going to cost you, the tethering package is $15 more for 6 gigabytes, which is about almost as much to transfer a single dual-layer DVD into your computer, or from your computer to your phone. Okay, that's all it's going to give you. And then after that, it goes to 128 kilobits per second. Lastly, don't forget, for every phone line in your plan, every phone line, that's just one, it's going to cost you $5 extra if you do not want to pay. That's not necessarily going to be a bargain for some people. And if you are on a fixed income, you're going to hate this. If you are willing to give up something else to get the phone, to have unlimited talk, text, web, great. Okay, that's between you and your partner and yourself, if it's yourself. If your partner's your other half, you're still going to have to work out. Yes, we fought this plan over and over again. Oh, freaking, since July. Yes, we have. Okay, so that's the short and skinny. And don't forget, if you want your HD TV high definition video, that is going to cost extra regardless. I think it says is 25 extras, so figure that in. That means if you got a big fancy thing like an iPads or very simple tablets that do not have a phone. In other words, we're not talking phablets here, just tablets. You can put your SIM chip in and sign up, and it'll be just $20 for each. So you can have tablets instead of phones. Great for the deaf. If you're deaf, you're going to want this. I don't know if you can do just tablets and not a phone on this or not. So if you're deaf and you just want tablet service, I'm sure the people at the T-Mobile store will gladly set you up with something that will be compatible with your needs, at least for text and web services. So that's something to think about. And don't forget, though, like I said, everybody is going to choose something based on their needs, not necessarily based on what somebody else is great for. Somebody else may not be great for you. So you need to keep that in mind. Okay, whenever you choose. Alright, guys, tomorrow is Saturday. The Soup Kitchen in Winston will be open. No, we are not doing a video at the Soup Kitchen tomorrow because it is a weekend. I do not. In fact, want to talk about the live streaming? Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, why don't you? Okay. I don't know if we're going to continue to do the live streaming at the Soup Kitchen because of the fact is it's just emotionally taxing. It's just so... Ah, my dear, you said a mouthful. It is. Every time I get out there, it's like, I turn on the recording, I'm like, he's listening recording, and I'm like, flip out this little phone, I can't tell, I'm trying to share the link, and I'm trying to cut and paste on the tiny Android phone with a 3.5 inch screen, trying to do all this with my bad eyesight, and my fingers, I feel like they're sausages. I'm sitting there, bitch, expand. I'm trying to type it, and I'm trying to cut and paste this link to this link to this link, and I'm doing nothing but making a royal mess of everything. So, no, I don't know if we're going to continue with this this data program. It worked fine. I want to thank you very much for trying it with us. If you really would like to see it continue, let me know, and we will look into see if we can come up with a better plan for everybody. Besides that, why is it taking 9 hours for YouTube to render that video, that live now video, into something that's compatible with the iPhone? 9 hours is insane. Really. I don't even know why it's taking that long. So think about that too. It's not really feasible all times to do that. Alright, guys, that's a wrap for now. And like I said, don't be afraid to ask questions and comments and things. We'll talk, and we'll see what we can do. If you have any suggestions, we'll look into them. Okay. So that's it for now, guys. Bye, everybody. Bye, guys.